What up? Good morning. Let's get to work, folks.
What up?
Yep, you sound great.
Thank you, sir. Like my microphone?
No, sorry, you sound stuffy when you first said what up. I was like,
Oh,
oh,
yeah.
you sound good now. You getting stuffed out there too?
A little bit.
Got another doctor appointment for Gabe this afternoon. He's still all sick and not really getting better, so thanks. Um, I think they're wrong. I think he does have strep. I think they just the test didn't identify it, really enough. All right. Got a little bit of a gap down in the market. This is an interesting little period we got here. Um, I was planning on doing, oh, Ronnie, you get, um, no problem, CT. Um, I usually get it all once a year. Fun stuff. Um, all right. You got mRNA gapping down 7% this morning. Semi's gapping down a little bit. What is that? 0.5%. Q's gapping down zero point 0.6. IWM down zero point 0.7. SPY down zero point 0.4. Dow Jones down zero point 0.8. Interesting. Got a feeling it might be a. I'm leaning towards a do nothing day, but we'll see. I'm really hoping to be upside surprised in the market either today or tomorrow, ideally. Um but definitely a little bit narrower of a list. And I don't know, I'm looking at, some of these things with a little bit of skepticism. For example, if we just look at, Shopify, in isolation, essentially, this could signal something, fairly soon. That would be interesting. I'm just saying this because it's, on my list where I'm at in the scans. Um, and and then same thing with, something like FIVN, something like RNG, something like Snowflake, Palantir. I mean, Snowflake and Palantir look, solid, and I think are deserving of being on your lists. Because I mean, idea is that, they would be most likely to work. That was, kind of the same concept with FNGU and TQQQ, which was, well, chances are if I can't get, any of these to work, like, are you going to be able to get Intel or Marvell or Palantir or Snowflake. I do wish I would have went with FNGU. Um, you can be able to get one of the non, 4 to 5, um, strong leaders to work. If yeah, Dell, HPE, um, if TQQ doesn't, so it's a really kind of easy decision to go with that. I know I'm giving it a little bit more room because we're just kind of smashed here right at where if the market holds, the potential for it is good, quite good, to where an extra 1%, risk. I'm down. Where's that position? A little bit over 2% on it, and um, I mean, if this ends up working out, how it could at a location like this, um, coming out of a correction or either a failed recovery out of a correction, a failed fall today, which is possible. Um, the downside risk is not as much as the potential upside. Um, so anyways, but yeah, don't like how semis look. We've been talking about that. Um, uh, that kind of April version. I posted that semi chart how similar they looked these past 2 days especially, and then from that picture that I sent, they went on to semis went on to rally about 30% from there. Which I thought was interesting. I think it's drastically different time. If you look at the semiconductors under the hood, they're looking a lot differently um than they are now. And
Yeah, I do think it's more
you
comparable to the August period.
the like pre yen carry trade.
No, like after the yen carry trade in the first rally off the lows.
Gotcha. Let me pull that up. Oh yeah, I see. I see. Yeah. God, that had so much range. Um, so yeah, I'm not quite sure what to expect. RBRK, I mean, I suppose I expect to get stopped out of RBRK and frog positions initiated yesterday. And within the first 30 minutes, probably expect to get stopped out of TQQ. It just sucks because of that such an inflection point. It's at such an inflection point right now. That it's going to be it might take stop and reentry, or it might fake me around a little bit, which I can deal with that. Um, obviously yesterday with that move in mRNA, that was the biggest move of an S&P 500 stock in history, or at least since whenever is reasonable, which is just crazy. That's a crazy stat, by the way. There's a stat for everything, and um, uh, what's never happened in the market happens every single day. Um, that was nuts, though. TEM, I think is deserved to be on your radar. Also the Bitcoin move, or all of crypto move yesterday, um, was pretty impressive. Stocks like Circle, coming off the lows, it's into the 200-day right now, so I'm gonna need to see it chop around. Stocks like Coinbase, popped pretty notably. Um, usually the best vehicle for this is ETHU, and I know a couple of you guys got that. So congratulations and good job. I wish I was joined with you on that. And then you had like CrowdStrike down like 6%, and rather disorderly pullback into the moving averages. or below them really. Same thing with Dell, was kind of drifting into the top of the base. And then, kind of sliced through it, a little bit harsher than I expected. And same thing with HPE too. Um, and then MBIS. So just the sheer amount of essentially round trips. Um, have made it personally, a little bit difficult or a little bit frustrating for me. I sent a message out. I said, not gonna lie, starting to get a little bit bugged out by the market. I don't like that internal feeling um, because you can see things like this and then want to adjust your strategy. You can see things like NBIS, post 35% earnings rip and pull back into the MAs, undercutting and then want to adjust, strategy and being like, oh yeah, well, of course, and justify, why it shouldn't work or why you shouldn't look at something like this and, a variety of other different things when, in reality, basically, I would say about 95% of the time over the past 5 to 6 years, with the exclusion of 2022, if you're trading, setups like this, earnings moves, pullbacks, higher lows, consistently, you're doing really well. And, right now it's just been a little bit of round tripping type action. Same thing on, Dell hold of the 50-day hold of 20 men, break out, into new highs 500 and then, kind of round trip. Something like AEHR, right? Significant move off the lows, this little tight range here, and then all of a sudden, um, a 30% pullback in, 3 sessions. Um, lot of round trip action, a lot of round trip action. Um, and at the same time, there are things that are working. XBI off the 50-day, off the 20 May. These are very actionable looks. Eli Lilly off the 50-day and remount to the 20 May. Snowflake, still from these spots and potentially this higher low here or even day two continuation here. Palantir getting tight post earnings, tap of the 200-day right here, flagging out into the 90 May right there. Service now, hold of the 20 May, take out inside day high and the 200-day moving average. Um, Super reasonable and solid look. RBRK, I know CrowdStrike is pulling back, fairly harshly, and this might need more time, but reclaiming the 50-day, could still be in first tap of the 90 MA. We'll see if that holds. Frog off the 20 MA here, high or low. We'll see if that holds. Um, so, when I look back at the market and at decisions and decisions taken, decisions not taken, and optimal decisions potentially, um, despite the result, um, there is some comfort and some satisfaction in some of the focus, some of the approach, and even execution to an extent. Although there's a fair few things that I would change or would have changed. Same thing with TER, right? Looking fantastic, kicker candle. Day two continuation. Makes a 20% move, looking fantastic, and then all of a sudden, one day, day and a half. And, even if you're looking for it to hold the gap and being like, okay, we'll use a 50 SMA as a stop, or, let's see if we hold gap support. All of a sudden, if you don't make that quick decision, you take something that's strong and acting really good, and then all of a sudden looks like a piece of shit. Um, Even something like ANAT, right? A little mid range here, and then pulls back, pretty harshly 6 days in a row right there. Still might be a viable look. Net, um, it still might be a viable look here, but most likely either needs to pull back deeper or base a little bit here. Um, and then, I know it seemed like I glossed over, XBI, but this is the easiest one to focus on in the group versus a variety of additional ones. Um, I would say in terms of the news yesterday is the opening range spot, the VWAP undercut probably is a good play, but man, I mean that's just more like to probably have in your back pocket for um for studying EP behaviors. And then TEM was another very, very, very interesting one. But this is kind of like an NBIS type of stock, in the way that it trades, kind of like a Coinbase or Tesla type of stock, to where it kind of lives in its own world and kind of does its own thing, and it um really tries to fuck you. And so I'm willing to watch this for consolidation and a flag and a higher low, and going to be willing to watch it. MSCR is gapping up 10%. Let me take a look. Oh yeah. Um, yeah, I'm curious as to what these do. I mean, this is a pretty notable base, and move on Bitcoin here out of this. Same thing with Ethereum. Feels like just that night I saw Bronco kind of post that comparison to, I think you were using this candle if I'm not mistaken. Um, and definitely feels more like the beginning of a move. Um, so, anyways, I want to run through some of the lists here. I want to pass it over to Bracco as I kind of run through some things. Nothing's majorly jumping out at me, and yeah, I think general. I'd like to see some things proven. Um, I suppose, and then yeah, biotech and healthcare, I suppose. Oh, he's gone. Wait, are you there?
Yep, I'm here.
Oh, hey, sorry.
No, you're good. I was just looking at some stuff. I'm posting the pre-market movers right now. Um, dude, I'm not gonna lie, I don't really have anything for today, to be honest. I mean, I was watching some stuff this morning. Today will be an interesting day. We got 4 down days in a row in the Qs. Fifth down day on the gap down today, potentially gap it down to the 50-day. We got this obviously this huge gap that kind of keeping an eye on it, like 707.50 or whatever. Um, I'm thinking we pull a little lower personally. I kind of got that same feeling as you. Yeah, I mean, it's just I got MBIS from yesterday. I mean, I'm expecting to maybe get stopped out of it today. We'll see. But I mean, I'm just scrolling through and like I mean, I don't see setups. I mean, the crypto move was sick, you know. But now, I mean, IBIT's up 20% in a couple days. ETH is into the 200-day moving average, or at least ETHA is. Um, and there's still a lot of overhead on these. Even if you look at when Bitcoin came out of its bear market in 2022, um, it had a huge move up in a couple days, then it based for 3 more months, and then it set up again, and it kind of stair stepped its way up. And the higher it went, the less time the base is needed because sentiment improved and positioning and stuff like that. So, and then as far as like the biotech and stuff like that. I don't really trade these. I would say that ARCG is up like 100% in a couple of months, and Dark was talking about this 2021 peak on XBI that we're coming into on this. And this thing's been nonstop since the tariff lows. I think with everyone. having a tough time finding things to trade and like maybe rushing to speculate in biotech now that that mRNA hype could mark like a short-term little peak maybe. As these are like kind of getting extended now and they're not really coming out of big bases anymore. So, maybe that's a type of hype that institutions would be willing to sell into who have been long this from way lower. I don't know. Just something to be mindful of. Don't go out just like chasing these out of FOMO. Make sure you're still trading setups and stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, I don't really, sorry, dude, I don't really have much to say to be honest. I mean, I kind of agree with your instincts on a do nothing kind of day. I would like to just wait, hopefully get some sort of like major signal from the market at some point, kind of like September 2024 when we had that, go signal day. If this rally is going to keep following through, on this pullback that maybe gets people a little more uncomfortable or, that we get some sort of, big fake out or just obvious go signal from the market to, really get back in again and stuff like that. So, yeah, that's it.
Ah, bless me. That was a sneeze and a half right there. Ah, um, yeah, I'm just gonna go to my list quick. Felt that in Chicago. Big humps. You know what to do. I know what you're about. Man, I mean, even something like Fastly, like this had the opportunity here, like in a good period. This had an opportunity here to get nice and tight below $30 right there. And that would have been like that would have been like a really, really, really good setup if this got nice and tight right there. And it's kind of just rugged. I don't trade Apple. Let me take a look. VIX to the QQQ. I'm good on that. Hey Ronnie, if you take something, I'll join you on it. Um, yeah, got rid of Dell yesterday. Later than I wanted to. Um, so that's a little frustrating actually. Bulls gapping up notably this morning. Um, Yeah, I think in terms of, some of the main names, I want to watch how TEM consolidates. I want to watch Palantir. I still do want to watch Dell HPE, Palantir Snowflake, RBRK Frog, um, NBIS as it pulls back here, and got offering prices. Actually, I thought the terms were really good. Um, you know, NBIS does a great job. Um, Wish I had Eli Lilly. What else are you guys thinking? Yeah, so I see Pan W and crowd, and I just have kind of made the decision that I want to keep my eyes only locked on RBRK, and this is probably going to be like a main objective for the foreseeable future. Um, at TEM, and then on these crypto moves, this pop on coin. Let me just pull them up quick, actually. Um, oops. Like, um, You mentioned yesterday you likely think if more time is listening that you should be willing to size up and not. Yeah. Well, I more so that um, this is more like a almost like a hedge or insurance buy. Like if you had to ask me, the probability of it working yesterday, I'd probably say like 15% chance, maybe 10% chance. Um, because the ideal build out on this is the weekly to do something like this because the ideal entry was down here, right? And then it's up 100 or 60% from there. um if you look at this weekly as if it were a daily, what do you want to see happen, right? You'd want to see this, work sideways, let the 90 MA, 10 SMA, whatever, catch up, build out like that, and then, finally go and, break that $100 level and trend. So, knowing that, is most likely niche, and then you combine it with the fact that, um, some of the other cybers are pulling back rather ugly, and then, the spread between the MAs here likely is going to do something like this over the coming days, and that would be ideal. And yeah, if we see something like that, and there's a combination of other factors that are looking healthy, um, like I have no problem knowing when and where to act. Similar to at the bottom of the market, how we're attempting things like Koru, RAM, SOXL down here, um, which were good trade. Maybe it was the wrong ones. XBI, at the 50-day would have been better. Um, in terms of follow through, I suppose. LABU, is it really? Let's see, 54%.
You shorting Costco today, bro? Is
uh,
that the play?
it's not a bad setup though, is it?
Hmm.
But
Yeah,
no, it's more just
WMT's
like
getting smacked, bro.
what was that?
Walmart's getting smacked.
I know. Yeah, if it did that, yeah, there's not enough that I could have that would be satisfactory if it did that, yeah. So, um, yeah, but I'm okay with where my focus is right now, and I'm gonna kind of see what comes of it. Anybody playing the gap up on Weeble today?
Dude, I had a weird precedent I thought of the other last night when I was scanning.
Oh yeah,
This Dow reminds me of IWM from November and December of 2024.
this Dow.
Yeah, just because the chart looks so similar, where like it had like a huge vertical rip like up into like this the broadening line, and then IWM back in 2024. I guess Dow kind of looked similar too, but where it had that like rip and then it had this like flag where it kind of just like forever flagged and then dumped through the 50 day. And that was when positioning got like record long on IWM at the time, right? And we saw weren't
That's
like
right.
Dow Jones futures like super crowded long on this recent rip,
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
yes, yeah. I need to do this here for a second.
Mhm.
All right. Any questions or comments or anything?
SPCX has another unlock today.
Oh, that's right, 7%. That's a sad panda. It's a good joke for those of you guys who've been around for a while. Probably stop out if it remains weak. Hopefully it doesn't. Oof. Oof. Yeah, semis red to green. Still an inside day. Marvel strong. Frog trying to take out yesterday's high. Not quite there yet. Mm. Frog pulling in. EFLY holding a 90 man. Good look. Now mRNA might be along against that 140 spot, by the way. Q's dancing right at the 50-day moving average. Weak opening pop on it. QQQ potential oops and reclaim of the 50-day. Core weave green. Micron green. Q's right at the 20 May right here. Low, we technically have a potential oops, even a Larry Williams oops because we opened up below yesterday's low. Um, right at the 20 May here at 7:15 is the 20 May up there. Butterfly looking good. Need that red to green though. I need by 7:16 on Q's to be interesting. Because IWM week. The 20 May is right there at 7:15. 7:14.85 to be exact. MBIS, you got all those MAs at about 233 is the big spot. EF, egg stock, yeah. Palantir inside right now. Snow inside, both from I don't know, crowd week. Rerolls. Yeah, oil strong.
Yeah, this XLE is crazy, dude. This thing's just like ripping outside the upper Bollinger Band right now, like it was when the war was in
Uh,
March.
TEM super strong. MRVI super strong. Oscar continuation. NVIDIA holding gap support. Nice. Service now, nice inside too. EM's very strong. Let's get day two
Was that
continuation.
HV you did yesterday?
What was
Oh, like
that?
highest in a year. I was looking at the volume, highest in a year yesterday.
It's pretty impressive.
Semis downtick.
Hmm.
Doo-doo-doo-doo. That's what they do.
Wayfair still looks good. Nice inside day. Oscar, nice continuation from yesterday. Zeta, nice little lower wick there. RBRK back over 100. Palantir nice and tight. Snow nice and tight. Zeta, okay. Fastly's actually at the anchored view app from the lows right now.
From the June lows?
Yes.
Yeah. Damn, give that whole move back. The hell, dude?
Yeah, dude, and it was looking super hot. I was
It
like, oh man,
was.
it's gonna tighten up. Give us a spot. Nope. Ooh. Hey, they all doubt me. Dude, EWI might be a you know what. Man, BB, you looking at BBWs? This EWI looks like a short right now. Drift into the 50, upper wick into the gap.
I think Semi's got another little trip downtown, maybe. That analog plays out. Just if you're, I don't know if you're curious, I'd send this. This is the Kospi futures. I definitely see it on EWY though.
Yeah. Oh, okay, the Cosmic Futures, I think, would prefer overshoot at 1200. There's a bear syndrome.
EWY trades way more volume though, so
Does it?
it does, yeah. Let me confirm that actually, maybe not. Kospi futures.
Mm.
Uh, yeah, it does.
PURR doing some good volume. Yeah, TEM is cranking its hog. Oscar 33. That was a good setup yesterday. The AMDs look like a short. Frog, nice lower wicks. Hey, I like that OMDA look. Prefer that tighten up a little bit more. Way stronger snowbag. Between net and frog, or sorry, rubric and frog look. mRNA is trying to curl up a little bit. TEM's the star of the show today. Palantir's looking good. Yeah, Oscar looks really nice. Should have taken it. What's most frustrating is that it could be loaded in this in some of these Lily Oscar. Both of them. I mean, they gave um setups that take. Yeah, Palantir crowd. Okay. What's Path doing? Zeta. SpaceX. Service now tied inside day. Airbnb acting fine. Shop. What does this Neogen do? I've had this on my earnings gapper list for some time now. Mm.
Remember how sick that LAC trade was back last year?
Fuck yeah, I remember that. Oh, so much
Oh
fun.
God, give me a market like that again. Jeez, that was sick, dude. I just because it just got a volume alert and I had the chart scroll down and I was like, damn, I forgot about this thing.
Boom. That was so much fun. What's it doing, Dark? We rich? Hey. I know, man. I know. Find an entry into TEM. I know. I wish I would have taken the recon with the 200 day yesterday. Oops.
Mm, 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 mm. SpaceX pretty weak.
Yeah, Uncle Russell's nasty today.
mRNA Dumpski
Oof.
down 20%. Oh,
We got a little flat bottom intraday. Yeah, Micron's acting decent right now. Nice, JJ. Damn. He's right at this. Look at that moving average. Not much like enthusiasm or anything else.
What are you thinking so far?
No, I'm not sure yet. To be quite honest.
Yeah, me neither. You still got some SMU, right?
Yep.
Ugh.
It's acting okay. I thought about adding yesterday with the stop at yesterday's low.
I think you really can put your stop at yesterday's low now. Do you have it there?
That's what I'm comfortable with for now, especially after today. I'd like it to get back above the 50 day.
Yeah.
Um, like how MBIS is curling above VWAP right now, Intel possibly too, but he's just Palantir tight inside day, Snow tight inside day, MRVL. I don't know. Really just gonna try to observe a little bit. What are you guys thinking out there? He's still sick actually. We're going to the doctor again this afternoon. Still not really eating much or
Doing
drinking
what this
anything.
afternoon?
Going to back to the doctor again, see what we should do
Okay.
next. He's got a pretty solid solid crew. He's got every specialist under the sun,
Yeah.
neurologists,
The
endocrine. I
dream
mean,
team.
he's got, I think he's got like, like 14 different doctors. We spent, I haven't talked about this much. We spent like 2 weeks at Children's back in, God, this would have been, I don't know. That was tough. That was what we only had. I mean, he was our only kid at the time, so a lot of different life. That was fun. His circle's acting good. No, crowd Pan W. Let me look at Pan W. Yeah. Well, Nat, what do you think of Nat? Or Twilio? I thought about this Twilio this morning. Still thinking about it. Mm-mm. I don't even want to buy anything. I want to figure out the fuck I'm going to lose money on. As of right now, it's TQQ, which I'm about to stop. I'm done 2.6% on it. A bit bigger than I intended it to be. Frogs down a little bit. I mean, it feels like one of those periods to where things like, Palantir end up, tightening up like this and then all of a sudden have a, 6% down day to ruin it. Kind of like how Fastly looked. I mean, not like Fastly is like an indicator of the market leadership or anything, but just using this as like an example. It's probably my expectation on, especially seeing the way that, Crowd and Net and, some other things, um, Fastly have acted and the leadership to the downside on, um, a variety of other things. It probably would be my expectation. Let me take a look at Snowflake. Probably the same thing on Snowflake too. I'm not sure though.
Mm, 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 mm.
It's not attractive to say, but I want to quote one of my favorite tweets. Oops, not Twitter, it's called X. Grail, oh, blast from the past calls and puts. Hey,
Yeah,
it's
someone
got.
posted about this yesterday in the chat.
Oh man, I had a little Shredsky on this back in the day. I don't even remember where it was. Um, Actually, I don't think I took it. Now that I'm bringing this
No,
up,
I
I
don't
think
think you did. I remember only watching it though because you were talking about it. But yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I think I was. Yeah, yeah. I didn't take. I remember I didn't take it because I called. I was the 35 calls for March at $1.20. I'm like, man, for a setup like this and a stock like this, these $1.20 seems real fucking cheap for those.
his Bob has been getting bought up today.
Here it is. You don't need to be a genius and catch every stock, every theme, every move lower and higher. You don't need to search and wonder where the top or bottom might be. It's okay to say I don't know and wait for something you really like. Then they try to get you to press a lot of buttons. Just wait for a stock to set up and demand your money and participation. Anyway, good line. Should probably listen to that a little bit more. What are you thinking, Crackers? Crackers, a Discord account, not a collective portion of you, for the record. Wait, there's a bank holiday tomorrow? What the hell are you talking about? Oh, remember back in the day with cash accounts when Columbus Day would come around, or what was it? Sorry, Indigenous People Day and photonics. Yeah, let's take a look. AOI, nice candle, light, nice candle. Does feel a little bit dull where potential failure would be feels like a rest day with them. I don't know, fucking know to be honest. Okay, inside day, frog inside day. UMAC, yeah, it is. It is. I keep my eyes on it. Actually, I'm happy with that trade that I quickly changed my mind because that was what day was that? That was Monday. Um, I quickly changed my mind and got rid of it. Micron taking out yesterday's high, right at yesterday's high, right into the 50-day two up above. Hmm. Manrav adding some Baba. Oh, hell yeah, dude. That's like classic China look before a move higher. I gotta run to the bathroom. I'll be right back.
John Deere popping.
These gotta be probably top 10 quietest I've ever been at in a market open. It's an hour in. Little hymns, Mr. Booch Magoo. A little higher low there. Neckline. Haven't looked at this for a minute. Parker, I'm curious how AI would rate the trading year so far. What kind of a full like 10 page review or analysis of the entire year would be.
Let's do it. You want to see?
Sure.
Yeah. You guys can rate it what you think it will rate it. For like trader climate. I guess it's
Out of what, 100?
let me see and double check. It is out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's just basically out of 10, I think. So 2024 was a 9 out of 10. Last year was a 7 out of 10.
I would call last year 9 out of 10 and 2024 7 out of 10.
No way.
Um, yeah, so I would re flip those around personally.
I don't know, dude. No way in my book. We need to go back and look at. Do you forget some of the opportunities in 2024?
Uh, I did, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, like I think you have to remove the bias of which year you traded better as well,
Why?
because um, I mean, this is like a unbiased trader climate, like based off the brain that you built of all those traders.
That circle's nice and tight intraday. GH on what else is there? ETHA. Let me pull that up. HPE, Frog, okay, It's a nasty hood candle. Or should it looks like a looks nasty. Oh. Mm. Mm. Very rarely you'll find me with not much to say. I generally don't like to shut the fuck up. Yeah, it looks pretty gnarly. That hood.
So Zoom numbers are pretty low for 10:30.
How much bid on crowd at 200? What are you thinking, man, Rev? Down here? Yeah, light strong too, up 5%. Qs are decently above the open. We're back above the 50 day. We're just sandwiched between the 20 EMA and the 50 SMA. High of day, 7:15, and then you got the 50 SMA at 7:13. They're just kind of banging each other out right now. What do you guys think of the SpaceX? Hmm. Technically got an oops on ANAT here. With TER kind of. Dell's at high of day right now. Micron's over yesterday's high. SNDK is at high of day right now. The same breath, you've also got GLD at the 200-day moving average. Silver strong. What's crypto doing? Just dancing around. Nothing really going on with the VIX. Advanced decline is up from, damn, advanced decline was negative 900 at the open. Relab, CRDO. What do you got there, Beaver? Oh, Zoom numbers.
You still got those TQs?
I do.
Are you just gonna use like today's low or
I'm just waiting
waiting to
to
see?
see what it wants to do. But yeah, pretty much. We're down less than 2% of the position right now. Looks like market's trying to determine if these are basing or bear flagging. Amazon tight. Q's are right at the weekly 90 MA too. By the way, if you need more confidence in the oops, this week's another example actually of an oops reversal to the downside. It closed at 731.07 on the Qs last week. We opened at 732.80. Made a new high early on Monday, and then we've since came in um and engulfed on this. So, anyways.
6 out of 10 it gave it this year so far.
Mhm. Nah, it's fair. But to call it 6 out of 10, and then to call it 2025 7 out of 10, I think is crazy.
I feel like it seems like it's giving a maybe a lot of weighting to the drawdown. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like I don't know, like for you, you probably were in cash most of that, so you probably were just fine. Where maybe it's considering traders got beat up during that period because I mean the Nasdaq did fall 27% relatively fast, which is kind of like a crash, and so I don't know if it maybe is considering that.
In reality, you you weight the biggest moves heavily. The SNDKs, MU, BE, MBISs, um, and a variety of others. Then it is really kick ass. Combine that with mean reversion and early in the year, what were they? Silver, Bitcoin, IGV. Um, oh, okay. I've been stocking Bitcoin during the entire move. Same for biotech during May and June. And Tesla. But miss those breakouts in order to be disciplined and not chased. I mean, multi-month moves got chopped up in the first consolidation. But yeah, so there's a couple from this year that your comment reminds me of, I suppose, which would be the XLE and XBI breakouts. Um, which I was watching this basically from the beginning of or from the end of the year, right here, and then especially in this April and May period. Same thing with ARC G. Throughout this, if you guys remember, I had put a long-term position on ARC at the beginning of I think it was right here in the middle of January, right there for I think it was January 2027, $35 calls or $40 calls or something. Somewhere around there. It might have been in here. Can't remember exactly where it was. Um, so anyways, it was was a decent area of focus, and then then you think about XLE, this move here. Um, Again, can't remember exactly where it was that I tried XOM and actually alerted my channel. But again, it's kind of, choppy in this base, for a significant amount of time, and then kind of goes and explodes without looking back, gives a brief, hold of the 20 May here, goes on a secondary, half run, and then ultimately does nothing for the next 6 months, and then puts in a few more higher lows and looks to be going off. Um, and then XBI here, was a really nice looking base. Tried it another number of times. And this breakout of this base. So um this would qualify, it does qualify um within my trading objective, because a trading objective is here: number one, day one higher low hold; number two, day two higher low hold; and number three, day one higher high continuation. Okay, so you don't even necessarily need to um to say day 4 or 5. You really just have to, I suppose, be willing to buy this day one higher high continuation on 617 right there. Once you get up here, no, I can't really endorse that personally. Um, Regardless, so I guess what you're asking is there permission to chase if the breakout's good enough? Um, and I would say no. Find an entry on the breakout that gives you the best risk reward. But really, at the heart of your conversation is participation and exposure, balanced out with into some of the in play themes or rotational themes versus setup and strategy and risk to reward based on the individual stock setup, I suppose. Um, balance between exposure and that. Um, but I would say no, because I don't think that you could possibly find me a setup to where chasing day three, day four, or day five is better risk to reward than the first higher low hold. For example, this move right here in XBI, let's say you buy, buy the highs like that. Okay, that's a really good entry. Any other entry aside from that, you're better off right here at the hold of the 50-day, which is reasonable, or hold of right here, which is a stop out. This did chop around a little bit, but it, gave us strong close, hammer candle at the 50 SMA, and then right here again, just a few days ago, right there. Um, where? Oh, the following base, the secondary one over here. Okay. Um, Maybe. I suppose at the heart of your question is, Is it better to get chopped up chopped up in this versus potentially quickly faded and failed breakouts like this? Yeah, that's kind of at the heart of your question is this is looked at as chasing, and this is looked at as reasonable attempts despite chop. Did I characterize that correct? And you're saying, why is this better than this? Kind of question. First off, love the question and the um mhm. Bitcoin, another example. Hmm. Hmm. This is another example of kind of what you're describing too, is even something like SNDK, or sorry, SMCI in 2024, here or here versus attempting it here, or even SNDK here. It's going to be tough to analyze properly and answer this objectively with empirical data because it's going to be so easy to look at the breakouts that follow through so heavily and then never really give a secondary entry. And it's going to be really easy to find and remember the ones that do give a secondary base but chop around and are difficult to enter on the secondary move. Um, Interesting question. Mm. Palantir getting a nice little push side A here. Yeah, coin remounting as well. Marvell also had higher day. What you talking about? Nice, had to ask. SPY's at high day right now. Dow Jones at high day. Ethereum's at high day. Advanced declines at high day. Bitcoin high day. Good volume on coin high day too. TEM. Fucking hot crank. GH song. SPY triggered a power trend yesterday, by the way, guys.
Oh yeah, because we closed up on the day, didn't we?
Yep. I saw this in the scans last night. I was looking through a bunch of these. Nice continuation. Calls and puts. Look at that Palantir. A couple minutes.
You got Bess and yapping right now.
What's he saying?
We can grow our way out of debt burden. Yeah.
Did you re-enter that, Ali? Oh, gotcha, dear. Yeah, okay.
Mm, 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 mm.
This circle's going to do some pretty good volume today.
Dude, this ATR on SPY's gotten so low. I got like a 10-day ATR percentage like indicator. It just shows up as a plot as a line. Whereas like at the April crash last year, it was like as high as like 5.5% because of volatility. We're at 0.61% right now, which is almost going to be the lowest um, since like 2021, as far as just like daily range on the indexes. 2024, we hit a low of 0.54% a day.
Oh, we've got open house today, this afternoon, after market close. Dude, this Robinhood chart looks like poo poo.
What do we have after market close?
I've got my, sorry, it's me talking to myself.
Oh, okay. I was like, what's going on after close today?
I've got open house for my kids' school.
Oh,
Well,
nice.
two of them.
Yeah, that hood does look nasty.
Wasn't there an oil embargo in the 70s with Iran too? Wasn't that the 70s? Um,
Googler getting a little nasty.
Yes, pull was a better quick pullback at open. Actually, the daily looks like it's giving a quick pullback, but I don't see it actually on intraday. Oh, that's the end of the day yesterday. What? Oh, okay. I see. I see where I'm looking. Yeah, right here. But that's the view app of this right there too. Yep. Look at that. Hey, this is a good example, guys. I'm gonna post this on my channel here. It's a good teaching moment for Anchor view app people. Put this in your spank bank or model book, I think some people call it.
Hood's Inver sticker is who's.
Wait, what was that?
That's a funny ticker name. Hood's
Which one?
inverse ETF ticker is who's, HOOZ.
Viadi, I don't think you're on here today on Zoom, are you? Um, this is I think you use Anchor view apps, don't you? Look at this 1 minute with anchored view app from the PURR headline from Trump. That's so fucking clean. Good job, man, Rav. On circle. Well done, brother. Dark, ALSN, Allison, it's actually they're when I'm looking at because I want to build a bus um or convert a bus to an RV. So I've been doing some research on the proper buses to buy. And anyways, Allison transmissions in um typical school buses are like the best. No, not a short bus. I want to get a really, really long one and renovate it and everything. Yeah, they're like top tier transmissions for school buses. And I actually saw the chart as well. Um, Pete, where do you live? You're up in, wait, are you in New York? Yeah, Buffalo, New York. That's what I thought. Yeah. Yes, do you have pre-market on for that or no? Thank you. This mRNA is curling in a little bit, right up into the view up right now.
You know what Emery kind of reminds me of? And I'm curious if it could pull it off into tomorrow.
What's up?
Um,
MP?
no, it kind of reminds me of Arm from 2024,
Uh,
where I remember it gapped down and it was pretty weak its second day, and then it like climbed into the close and closed like kind of strong, and then it just went nuts the next day on the gap up.
hmm.
That's a stretch though.
No, specific to mRNA. Yeah, BRK and frog.
New lows on the Qs. Do, 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 do.
What's this survey here? That's the what is that? The AAOI that I just posted, or what is it called? Not AOI.
The AAII.
AAI. Yeah. No, that's not the NAI. Wait, what's it called again?
AAIM.
Oh, this sentiment survey. That's right. Yep. Thank you.
AAII sentiment survey. Same as last week. All right, guys, we're gonna call it there. Go touch some grass, get some fresh air. There ain't nothing going on today. Mm, 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 mm. Peace out, homies.